This world is getting out of control, and Disney, you are not helping. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. I'm still getting over a cold, but regardless, the word of God and truth still needs to be pushed forward. Now, many of you already have heard about the controversy surrounding Disney, and some of you have asked for my opinion, and I apologize I couldn't do it sooner, but rather than leaving you without an answer, here is my 2 cents. Growing up, Disney was a place to be a child. It was a safe place whether you were at home watching a movie or at the theme park. Parents around the world would pop a movie in and just let it run to distract their child without worrying about anything weird happening. But all that has changed. Now, more than ever, you have to screen every single thing your child does before they even get the idea to watch it. And Disney never had this open agenda to introduce children into the world of gay, but all that has changed, as you can see. Disney started to take a fall, in my opinion, once the theme parks started hiking up the prices, once they started to get greedy. I believe that in their greed, they started reaching out to every type of person, and this includes the LGBT community. Now they have allowed homosexuals or people who identify in any of those parks into management roles. And now these woke people are in the business. Before I go on further, though, let me just say this episode might trigger many of you because I'm absolutely angry about what is going on with Disney. If you remember, last summer, their diversity and inclusion manager worked very hard to get rid of the words boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen. And now that's coming to, if it's not here already, the Disneyland park in California. Check out this clip.
Developing tonight, big changes coming to Disneyland. Disney is doing away with gendered greetings throughout the park and resort. Gone are ladies and gentlemen or boys and girls. Instead, cast members who recorded messages will use "Hello, everyone," or "Hello, friends." The move promoting gender inclusion comes after Disney employees across the country participated in walkouts over Disney's slow response to Florida's recently signed parental rights in education bill.
Very interesting stuff, but did you catch something very important? They said the move providing gender inclusion comes after Disney employees participated in walkouts about parental rights in education. Listen to that very carefully. Staff walked out because of a bill that gave rights to parents. Why does this staff even care about what parents do? Many of them aren't even parents. Why do they care about this bill that protects kids up to 3rd grade, which is not even very high either? I wish it would have been pushed to 6th grade. But they walked out because of a bill that would protect kids up to 3rd grade from learning about being gay and all that other junk. See, it's the staff that Disney has listened to. They walked out, made a big scene, and now they changed the greeting. If I was management, I would have just said, goodbye, there's tons of people who want to work here. Disney no longer caters to the child, but to the staff. The staff that are so confused and possessed by evil that they feel the need to make kids think about gender. Kids don't care about that. They only think about it because sick and perverted people, which are adults, bring it up and throw it in their face. And now, sadly, Disney is very open about pushing this agenda. Even if they come out tomorrow and say, oh, no, that's not what we meant to say, they're still going to push it. Disney is out of the closet in this sexual agenda, and they're after your kids, and it is not leaving. Here's another clip from Disney's corporate president that will disappoint you.
I'm here as a mother of 2 queer children, actually, one transgender child and one pansexual child, and also as a leader. And that was the thing that really got me, because I have heard so much from so many of my colleagues over the course of the last couple of weeks. I feel a responsibility to speak, not just for myself, but for them. One of our execs stood up and said, we only have a handful of queer leads in our content. And I went, what? That can't be true. And I realized, it actually is true. We have many, many, many LGBTQIA characters in our stories. And yet we don't have enough leads and narratives in which gay characters just get to be characters. And not have to be about gay stories. And so that's been very eye-opening for me.
She says there's not enough lead roles for gays and transgender characters where they can just be characters and not have any gay stories. But I feel like that's such a bad attempt to cover up the truth. Because come on, let's be real. How will anyone know if a character is gay? If they don't, number one, state it themselves that they're a gay character, or number two, if Disney doesn't animate them dating, being married to, or kissing a character of the same sex. This will confuse your child. You know what's sad though? Most guests are tired of all these changes, but they're not bold enough to stand up against it. We need to stand up because your children are being held hostage by Disney, and Disney is being held hostage by these people. Here's another clip from an executive talking about a very open, secret gay agenda. And I want you to pay attention to just how happy she is about adding queerness wherever she could.
The showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like I feel like all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background, like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show.
That is so sick that there are people out there who find joy in adding queerness to kids' stories, to kids' movies. What is wrong with you? May God forgive them, because these people are going to hell if they don't repent. Now check out this other clip.
Got into a very similar conversation, Carrie, of like, oh, all of our like gender nonconforming characters are in the background. And so it's not just a numbers game. The further, the more centered a story is on a character, the more nuanced you get into their story. And especially with like trans characters, you can't see if someone is trans. There's not one way to look trans. And so kind of the only way to have these like canonical trans characters, canonical asexual characters, canonical bisexual characters is to give them stories where they can like be their whole selves.
Now, do you remember Disney's corporate president? She said there wasn't enough lead roles, but that the characters don't even have to have gay stories. They just need to be characters. But the homeboy here is saying, how will anyone know or be able to tell if someone is gay or trans? They need stories where they can be their whole selves. What does their whole self compose of? Falling in love, saving the person you love, having someone of interest. It's a common theme in Disney. It's going to be pushed. But to this guy who's saying, how will they be able to tell if someone is trans? Bro, do I have to remind you about the swimmer who recently won and caused controversy? Can you not tell that's a trans person? I mean, look at this picture. You can't tell me the two people on the sides aren't dudes? Like, just draw your Disney characters looking like that. I know that's messed up, but my point is that you don't have to give them a story. Just draw them a certain way. Leave it at that. Disney likes to say that they are not pushing an agenda, yet they need more characters that are gay and trans. Disney's messed up. It is not their job to introduce this topic to any child. But can I say something? I truly blame men. Because men have been in control of Disney for a very long time, and they have allowed these crazy people to climb up the ladders. They listened to these women, these homosexuals, these trans people. They became soft, and now these people are coming up with their own agendas and perverting the lives of kids around the world. These people at Disney are trying to cover up the agenda by saying they just want to be diverse. But my question is, why target children? Hey, you can be gay all you want. Do your thing. But why target kids? Satan is really at work here, my friends. Satan is sexualizing children. I 100% believe this will open a door for transgender perverts to take advantage of children by dressing up as a Disney princess and doing God knows what to these kids. If you remember an earlier video I made regarding a friend who was martyred by saving kids who were being trafficked, the link is below if you haven't seen that, you'll realize that a lot of the people who wanted to sleep with these kids were men, sick perverts. And I believe this opens a door for more of that. People around the world continue to define themselves with the sins that crucified Jesus. And now they want to forcefully define children with those same sins. Proverbs 31 says, yes, speak up for the poor and helpless and see that they get justice. Children are helpless. They don't know that they're being tricked. They just trust us and they look up to adults as guides. But it's our time. It's your time to stand up and speak against this evil. This is absolutely terrible and horrific news. Isaiah 1:17 says, learn to do right, seek justice, and defend the oppressed. Galatians 6:9 says, let us not become weary in doing good. So let us not become weary. Let us fight against this. Let me end with this. For a Christian to endorse this is the opposite of loving. It is truly hateful. You do not love your neighbor by encouraging them to engage in actions that invoke God's wrath and oppose God's good design for humanity. Children around the world need our prayers. Our country needs our prayers. Even Disney needs our prayers. I personally had a hard time with this. I had a hard time deciding going back to Disney because of how expensive it is and how busy the parks get. But now it's even harder to even consider visiting because of this agenda. It's very shocking to me that so much of our childhoods are being ruined because of perverted people and the weakness of men that allowed this to happen. I need to do some serious thinking about what my next plans are. I'll probably visit one last time, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going again after that. But I don't know. I'm really considering just ending our relationship with Disney. It's just difficult because we could ignore these things and still go, but are we really helping to prove a point if we continue to visit these places? But let me know what you guys think. Does this affect how you see Disney? Do you think it's cool for kids to see gay and transgender characters living their life on screen? Either way, it's time to fight the good fight, but keep looking up because Jesus will be back very soon, and I believe every good thing on this earth has to be corrupt, perverted, and degraded the closer we get to the end. These are truly devastating times we live in, but it's also exciting times because we know Jesus is coming back. May God bless you and your families.